Welcome to today's massive unboxing. In today's massive unboxing, I will be unboxing 8 1-400 scale model aircrafts and 1-200 scale model aircraft for a total of 9 model airplanes. There are some rare aircraft in today's massive unboxing, and I'm super excited to begin. So without further ado, let's begin today's massive unboxing of 9 model airplanes. And to start us off for today's massive unboxing, our first 4 models are models that I found on Black Friday. These 4 models I purchased at the MTS Aviation store in Ohio. I ordered these online, and these are super rare old school models that I definitely needed for my collection, such as this Continental Airlines Boeing 737-700 over here. This I needed for my future IAH International Airport project, or Houston Intercontinental. If you haven't followed my Instagram channel, I'm going to be doing a massive new IAH International Airport update. So I definitely need this guy over here. Anyway, let's unbox this guy. This guy is a Dragon Wings model, so it isn't too detailed. However, this is much more of an asset purchase for me. I do need more Continental Airlines fleets, and these guys constantly flew into IAH, and Continental was my favorite airline, so it's really a sentimental purchase for me right over here. So let's zoom in right now. Oh boy, is this thing nice. We have the Continental Airlines plane right over here, and this is a really detailed model for the time that it was made. I think this was made in like early 2000s, 2001. So we have some detail, not a lot. I will say, we are missing the SkyTeam logo, but that's fine. We have the Continental Airlines titles right over here, L1 boarding door, and then the DirecTV emblem right over here. I guess this aircraft did have DirecTV on it. Registration for this aircraft is going to be
2,000 years later.
The registration for this aircraft is going to be November 16703. And then we have the classic Continental Airlines globe tail right over here. This is just iconic icon of Continental Airlines. I'm gonna see if I can put the stand on right now so we can see this aircraft. And as the aircraft is turning, we can tell that this is a really old school model. Unfortunately, these are all plastic, so this is Dragon Wings. So Dragon Wings does come in plastic, but Continental Airlines aircrafts are really hard to come about. They're really difficult to find. So I was really grateful that I found this aircraft. This model was around $25, so it was a really big steal in my opinion. I had to get it. With shipping came around to $31, so it really was not a bad price for the aircraft. And it's just more of an asset purchase for me, just because I need more Continental Airlines fleet in my collection, especially if I'm going to do IAH, which was Continental Airlines Super Pub, if you will. Some more detail, these wheels do come off, and it does come with a stand. We'll see the aircraft in the stand right now. And oh boy, does this look really cool over here. Here's the Continental Airlines aircraft on the stand.
Nice.
Again, as I mentioned earlier, the cool thing about Dragon Wings planes is that these wheels come off, as well as the main cockpit wheels come off. They all can come off, so you can make it realistic. Unfortunately, I don't want to do that to this aircraft. I don't want to lose the pieces, as they're really flimsy pieces and you can lose them quite easily. But over here is the aircraft again, and this looks stunning. I mean, just on the stand, it's a really nice model, came in perfect condition. I don't think anyone even unboxed it, so I was really grateful that MTS Aviation Models had it. And we're going to go on to the next aircraft now. This is just more of an asset purchase I did need in my collection, just because I'm doing IAH. So moving along to our second model, over here we have the Continental Airlines Boeing 757-300 over here. This guy is in the without winglets configuration, so it's a little bit older of your flying pencil. I do have the NG models, Continental Airlines 757-300. I kind of customized that and made it into a 757-300 from the blank model. But this is your classic Continental Airlines aircraft over here. These guys constantly flew Transcon out of Newark, out of IAH, and LAX out of other aircraft, and I believe I was on one of these aircraft, so it's a sentimental purchase for me. I did purchase this at MTS Aviation Models, and the model is packaged excellently. As you can see over here, we do have, just as I mentioned earlier, we do have the wheels in case you want to take this off and make it like it's flying. This is kind of a heavy model, if you will. It's kind of metal. So over here, if we could take a look at it, ooh, this thing's nice.
Impressive.
We have the Continental Airlines logo right over here, the Continental Airlines classic titles, if you will. Then we have the L1 boarding door, L2 boarding door, and again, just similar to the other aircraft, it doesn't have any antennas, it doesn't have any rolling wheels or anything like that, but it's still a very, very nice model, I have to say. It's a heavy metal model, so it's a little bit heavier than your typical 1:400 scale model. Again, the wheels don't really roll at all. It's just a classic aircraft, if you will. We have the Continental Globe right over here, American flag, as Continental Airlines was an American carrier. And then we have the Rolls-Royce engines with the Rolls-Royce emblem right over here. I'm gonna put the stand on so we can just admire this aircraft. And it's a very, very nice purchase, if you will. Again, unfortunately, everything, this is actually metal, but most of the model is made out of plastic, which is unfortunate, but it was kind of the custom at the time to do plastic models. This was made probably a very long time ago, and it's just a really classic aircraft, I have to say. The Flying Pencil 757-300 is just a phenomenal model and aircraft, and you can't go wrong with it. And oh boy, moving along to a different category of models now. Now we have some Southwest Airlines aircraft. And this is a super, super hard model to find. I'm not sure how the hell I found this model. This is just a really hard model to find. Excuse my language there, but it's just a hard model to find. This is the Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-700 in the mustard desert gold livery. Registration is November 70068, and it's just a hard model to find. This is the Dragon Wings version again, and it looks phenomenal. So we're going to take a look at this model right now. Alrighty, so this aircraft is the Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-700 in the desert gold mustard livery. And these next two models, this aircraft and the next model I'll be featuring, are for Retro Phoenix Sky Harbor. If you haven't already checked out my video of the stop motion film at Phoenix Sky Harbor, I would highly recommend you guys check it out, as these two models will be featured there. This is a really hard model to find, by the way. It's not easy to find a Southwest Airlines in the mustard livery, and it's a classic Southwest Airlines aircraft. The coloring is spot on here, it's not messed up like the Gemini jets. Southwest Airlines Max 8, if you will, and the desert gold livery. It's not the horrible coloring, it's actually a very nice coloring right over here. Starting us off, we have the Triple Crown 1 over here. We have the nose cone, the L1 boarding door. And then if we move along, we have the Southwest Airlines tail right over here. The classic mustard gold livery. We also have the red flaps right over here by the winglets. Unfortunately, not a lot of detail in this aircraft. This is a classic aircraft, so no antennas, no rolling rubber tires or anything like that, but it's just a much more of an asset purchase again. All these Dragon Wings models are asset purchases for me, just to help the aircraft fleet stand out, if you will. Unfortunately, this model did not come with a stand. I think this probably was a used model because it's just such a rare aircraft. But it looks really, really nice. I mean, look at this. This is a classic aircraft. Fortunately, everything's plastic, but we do have the mustard engines right over here with the red striping underneath. The belly is red on this aircraft, so we have the red belly right over here. And then again, we have the Southwest Airlines mustard tail over here. Moving along, we have the Triple Crown 1 right over here. Then we have the nose cone in this aircraft, which is very, very detailed as well. Overall, this is a nice aircraft. If you can find it, I highly, highly recommend it. It's a rare model, so if you're looking for a Southwest Airlines aircraft, rare model, I would highly recommend you guys consider buying a mustard gold Southwest Airlines aircraft. The price of this model was a little high for this aircraft. It was around $44, but it is a rare model, so I'm happy to have it. And our next aircraft right over here is the Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-700 in a Nevada Battleborn state livery, mustard gold. Now this aircraft, believe it or not, probably a couple years ago was super easy to find on eBay, but now I can't really find it on eBay, so I had to purchase this from MTS Aviation Models for the same price as the other aircraft, around $44. Not an easy aircraft to find, if you will. We have the mustard right over here and the CGI image of the model. This is in your classic Gemini Jets old school packaging, so you have the limited edition over here. It's not your new Gemini Jets packaging. This is an old aircraft with the Southwest Airlines official licensed product right over here. And if I'm going to unbox this aircraft right now, again, this is just a really... It was probably easier to find a couple of years ago as everyone was selling these, I feel like, but now I can't find them at all. So I did have to purchase this just for Phoenix Sky Harbor. And wow, this thing is nice. This is a classic Gemini Jets aircraft right over here. For the time period this model was made, this is a very, very detailed model. And I say that because everything looks spot on. I think the coloring is a little dark on this aircraft, but we have the Battleborn right over here. We have the Nevada state flag. We have the Southwest Airlines mustard tail right over here. And then we have the detail continuing on to the engines right over here. We also have the American flag, as Southwest Airlines is an American carrier. And then we have the Nevada 1 state livery right over here. Overall, this is a very, very nice model, and it's a rare one as well. Unlike Dragon Wings, this is a little bit more detailed, so we do have the blue wheels right over here, which is nice to see, as this is kind of continuing along with the blue theme over here. Engines look very, very detailed for the time period. This model was made in 2001, so it's roughly almost as old as I am.
You are an old man and a fool!
It's a pretty old model. And it's just a nice model. We have the Battleborn over here. Another asset purchase for me, as I do need these models for Phoenix Harbor Retro, and also Houston Hobby Retro. So this is metal, by the way, so it's not like your new Gemini Jets models, which are all plastic. This is all metal, and it's nice to see this model. It's just a classic aircraft, nothing much to it, no antennas, no rolling rubber tires, but it's a rare aircraft, and I do like it a lot. Expect to see it at Phoenix Sky Harbor. Now the next 5 models in my collection over here for the massive unboxing today, I've had for a couple months, so I haven't had the time to really unbox them, but we have seen some of them in my previous airport updates, such as this Delta Airlines Airbus A350-900 and the LA-28 2020 Olympic Special Livery. These 5 models I purchased in my vacation from Florida, so I purchased these at Awesome Diecast in-store. That's a fantastic place in Boca Raton, Florida. You can find a lot of rare models there, such as this aircraft right over here. So the next 5 models I purchased in-store at the Awesome Diecast in Boca Raton, Florida on my trip. And over here we have the Delta Airlines Airbus A350-900, again by Gemini Jets. This is a phenomenal, phenomenal model. Probably model of the year territory right over here. Wow. This thing is gorgeous, just so you know.
Nice.
I would highly, highly, highly recommend you guys pick it up if you haven't already picked it up. The Gemini Jets version is fantastic. NG Models version looks fantastic as well. But we'll take a look at this aircraft right now. We have the nose cone of this aircraft, which looks phenomenal. Really a sexy, sexy aircraft right over here. We have the SkyTeam logo, Delta awards that everyone, the Delta's won. We have the Delta titles right over here, LA 2028 palm trees. And then we have the giant LA 2028 titles right over here, meant to symbolize the 2020 Olympics at Los Angeles. This is a phenomenal, phenomenal model. It's so, so nice. And we have the Wi-Fi dome, we have antennas. This is kind of a blast to the future, if you will, from the previous 4 models that were made in early 2000s. This was made just a couple months ago. All metal. This is metal, this is metal. Engines, which are beautiful over here. My only complaint here is that there's no belly antennas, but the belly is detailed as well. If I could showcase the belly right now, we could see just a little bit. That's LA-28 over there. The Phoenix models missed that. We have the Delta Airlines tail. Registration of this aircraft, which is going to be November 522 Delta DZ. And then we have the Wi-Fi dome right over here again. I'm going to put this aircraft on the stand just because it's so nice. So over here is the aircraft on the stand, and this thing is phenomenal. I mean, look at this. This is beautiful over here. The wheels are the new Gemini Jets technology that they kind of like move along with the runway, so if you will, so if you kind of like take it off and make it look realistic. Overall, this model is phenomenal. Again, model of the year territory right over here. Again, this isn't the right stand, so it's a little lopsided, but it looks really, really nice. I'm in love with this aircraft. I think it's gorgeous, it's sexy, nose cone is perfect. We have the new raccoon mask over here, coloring spot on. We have the palm tree glare. Overall, this model is probably the model of the year in my opinion. It's such a nice aircraft, and you have seen it in Boston. Expect to see it in Detroit and LAX as well. And our next model, moving along back to the retro theme, we have this Delta Airlines Boeing 757-200 in the Ron Allen livery by NG Models. Again, I purchased this at the store. An awesome die-cast. And it's a nice model as well. This was on my wish list for years, this model. I never really got my hands on it. And it's selling out. It's still available on eBay, but probably next couple months it will be sold out completely. This is NG Models territory, so probably the best of the best over here. Rolling rubber tires, which is perfect. We have the Delta Airlines titles right over here. Ron Allen special livery. My tree is a pointer right over here. Delta Airlines titles. Delta Ron Allen registration, which is going to be November 601 Delta DL. And then we have the Ron Allen engines right over here. This is a beautiful model. Moving along with the model, we're going to zoom in right now on the details. So starting us off, we have the Delta Airlines old school triangle right over here, Delta Airlines titles, and then we have the Sky Team logo right over here. We have the pinstripe, famous for the Ron Allen livery. Rolling rubber tires once and for all. The Dragonwings models did not have this, and this is kind of your NG Models territory right over here. NG never disappoints with those rolling rubber tires. We have the American flag, as Delta Airlines is an American carrier. If I move the aircraft along, we have the beautifully cockpit window right over here. Cockpit's excellent, engines are excellent as well. And then we have tons of detail. We have the emergency flaps right over here, emergency window flaps. We have the Boeing 757-200 wings right over here, metal horizontal stabilizers, which is nice to see. And then we have this beautiful tail right over here. This is a gorgeous model, by the way. I showcase this in Retro LAX, so if you haven't checked that out, I'd recommend you check it out so you can see this aircraft in detail. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous model. I love the Ron Allen livery, so this is on my wish list for years. So happy to finally have this model. Much of an asset purchase. I will be using this in Retro Atlanta, retro projects as well, retro Phoenix Sky Harbor, retro you name it. This aircraft just is a retro aircraft and it's phenomenal. And our next model is this Breeze Embraer J195. Again, I purchased this at Awesome Diecast, and I really needed another Breeze model in my collection. I know this model is probably retired, but I really needed another Breeze model in my collection. I love Breeze's livery. I think it's a great livery. And I think it's just a sexy model airplane. So let's unbox this aircraft. Again, this is your typical Gemini Jets box. You have the CGI image of the model, Breeze titles. Nothing too special about the box. But the model is a very, very nice model, I must say. Let's unbox this model right now. And if I unbox the model, this is the J195 again. So it's a really, really nice model. I love the mold of it. Let's unbox it right now. Starting us off. Ooh, this is nice. Starting us off, we have the Breeze titles over here. We are breezing through this, baby. We have the Breeze titles right over here, L1 boarding door, and then this is a really, really classic Gemini Jets model. Gemini did a wonderful job with this model. The wheels don't really roll too much, that's fine. Plastic horizontal stabilizers, which I don't love to see, but you know, it is what it is. Gemini's pretty much the only company with the J195 mold. And I just need another Breeze model in my collection, more of an asset for me again. Pretty much this whole unboxing has just been an asset. Registration is N190BZ, and then we have the Breeze checkmark flag right over here, Breeze checkmark over here, Breeze titles again, and the coloring is beautiful. We also have Breeze, flybreeze.com, and antenna over here, something you don't typically see with Gemini Jets models, belly antennas. Unfortunately, this model does not have any top antennas on this model, so that is kind of a bummer. But it's a really, really classic aircraft, I have to say. I do like it a lot. And we could just admire everything about it. The coloring is beautiful. I think Gemini did a wonderful, wonderful job with this model. They perfected the coloring, if you will. And then on the belly of this aircraft, we also have breeze.com, or just Breeze on the belly of this aircraft as well. I'm going to put it on the stand right now. So over here is the aircraft on the stand, and it's a really, really nice aircraft, I have to say. You can kind of admire the belly detail. There's a lot of detail on this belly. The wheels are beautiful. Everything about this model is a really, really nice model, I have to say. Gemini did a wonderful job with it. While I do have to say they could have improved on antennas of this aircraft, as well as some metal stabilizers. It's a really nice model, I have to say, and I think this sadly is retired, but if you could still find it, I'd say get it. Just use it as an asset, because Breeze is still flying their ERJ-195 fleet, even though they're slowly replacing them with the Airbus A220 fleet. Again, expect to see this in some airports, including Newark Liberty, which Breeze is flying to, Phoenix Sky Harbor, and other airports that I do, including Washington and Dulles, as Breeze is slowly mainstreaming their mainline operations. And downsizing a little bit, over here is our next model over here, the Dash 8Q100 in the house colors by JC Wings. This is kind of downsizing the aircraft and size a little bit over here. This is in the house colors. Again, I did purchase this along with the 4 other models at Awesome Diecast, and it's a really, really nice model. Again, this is just a house color model, so the registration is a Canadian registration, but I am going to use this aircraft for pretty much as like an ExpressJet house color carrier, if you will, just because ExpressJets are really hard to come about. And over here, we could just admire the detail of this aircraft again. This is a really, really nice model, I have to say. We have the Canadian Leaf right over here, Dash 8, and then we have these propellers which do spin, which is nice to see. Dash 8 over here. Again, I might paint this into a model. I'm not exactly sure if I want to bother with that, just because it's going to be super hard to do because the size of it, or if I'll just leave it and do like an operating as like an ExpressJet house colors. I did feature this in San Luis Obispo, so if you haven't seen that, recommend you guys check it out. This is a really detailed model, I have to say. While many collectors might not purchase this because of the Canadian registration, or just because it's not like too realistic to find the US mainline, it's extremely realistic. We have some numbers over here which I cannot see. R1 boarding door, windows over here, propellers that do spin, and the Dash 8 logo right over here. We have a Canadian Leaf. Everything is metal about this aircraft, so it's nice to see. And one thing about this aircraft, again, is it's very, very tiny. So 1 to 400 scale models are pretty tiny. But this aircraft is really tiny. And I know Gemini is making their American Eagle mold in this model, so I will be picking up 3 of those. A whopping 3 American Eagle Dash 8Q100 for Phoenix Sky Harbor. But this model I will be continuing using for Phoenix Sky Harbor. Again, metal stabilizers, beautiful detail. I like the wing flap detail. The propellers that really spin, they're nice to see. While they might be fragile, they're really nice to see. And then it's just a beautiful model. If you are looking for an ExpressJet aircraft that you can use, I'd say get it. Saving our biggest model for last, here's the 1/200 scale model I was talking about earlier, the US Airways Express Bombardier Dash 8Q300. Oh boy, this model is so sentimental to me. US Airways Express is just a classic aircraft. Again, coming up with a retro theme, as you can kind of see in today's massive unboxing. There's a huge theme of retro aircraft. Over here we have a CGI image of the model US Airways Express, and just the registration is going to be November 326EN. Let's unbox this aircraft again. Maybe wondering why I purchased this model. Not exactly sure why I did, because they won't fly into any models, airports that I do. I might do it for St. Martin 1/200 scale. And if I can open the box, we could see, oh, there we go. We could see just how nice this model is. Let's unbox it right now. So this is, again, JC Wings lineup. This model was a little bit expensive. It was around $90, but it's really worth it. Over here, we can see that we have the US Airways Express stand. Titles are over here, and then the US Airways model. So let's unbox it right now. This is, again, the Dash 8Q300. So we have the stands right over here. One thing that I like is that I like that it's a customized stand over here. I'll put the piece right over here. Might need to screw it on so the model doesn't fall. And oh boy, is this model nice. This is a really, really classic aircraft. Again, it's in the Darth Vader livery, so US Airways Express models in the Darth Vader livery are super hard to come about, and they're really, really nice. Let's see this aircraft right now, and oh man, is this sexy. Let's zoom in right now so we could see. Wow, this is nice. Starting us off with the US Airways Express titles right over here. We have a beautiful cockpit window over here. Oh boy, is this nice. Again, propellers that do spin, which are much bigger than the 1/400 scale version. Registration again, as US Airways was an American carrier. Really sad to see US Airways go, I have to say. Everything is metal about this, including the stabilizers, which are metal. They're plastic, unfortunately. I did lie about that. Did lie over there. Unfortunately, they're plastic. This part, I think, is plastic again, so it's unfortunate to see that JC Wings is slowly making their models into plastic, but this model is a gorgeous model. I did really want to start collecting my 200 scale lineup and maybe make a little fictional airport in 1/200 scale. But again, here's the model itself, and we could really admire everything. Rolling rubber tires are perfect, and oh man, the model broke in the middle of the unboxing.
All too easy.
So over here is kind of uncharted territory over here. I wasn't expecting the model to break midway throughout the unboxing, but
Perhaps you are not as strong as the Emperor thought.
I guess it did happen over here that the model broke. Not expecting it. This is live, so I'm gonna have to fix the model right now. Again, I did ship this model from Florida, so that's probably why it did break midway throughout the shipping process, which TSA probably broke the model while looking at it. Again, unsatisfactory territory over here. Again, I don't know whose fault this is, but JC Wings really should have purchased maybe made it a little bit sturdier, the model, but let's fix it right now. Alrighty, so I did fix the model, and again, that's really unacceptable by JC Wings. Don't know what they were thinking here to make this model so unstable, but that's unacceptable. I just fixed it, but we do have some issues that I have made some beef with JC Wings right now. But overall, this is a very nice model, I have to say. Minus the fact that I did break midway throughout the unboxing. I really like it a lot. Let's put the stand on. Again, this is in the Darth Vader livery, US Airways Express. Hoping somebody makes maybe a 1/400 scale, but you know, it's a really sexy aircraft, I have to say. We do have the US Airways Express titles over here. I do think they could have made this model a little bit better, obviously because it broke midway throughout the unboxing, and also everything's kind of plastic, so. But again, this is pretty much your only way of finding a US Airways Express aircraft in 1/200 scale. Gemini's not going to make them anymore. NG made a couple, but I don't think they have this Dash 8 Q300 mold. So overall, this is a very nice model, I have to say. And that wraps up today's massive unboxing. I hope you guys enjoyed today's massive unboxing. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. I've noticed that a lot of my views, unfortunately, people aren't really subscribing, and it really would make the world to me if you did subscribe. It's completely free, no charge to it, and it would greatly help support the channel as we're on the road to 1,500 subscribers. News for the channel, massive airports are coming. I've got IAH coming, Phoenix Sky Harbor, the new Phoenix Sky Harbor coming, and more unboxings and stuff like that. Really excited for the future of this channel, and yeah. Again, we have a recap. We have 9 models. All the models are very nice, and I would recommend all of them. This is Hawaiian Air 2121 signing off. Have a good one.